Answer this. Do you think the strongest human on Earth could take on a tiger, armed only with a sword, in a battle to the death? Tigers are ridiculously dangerous opponents, but the human has intelligence and a deadly weapon on its side. So the result of this hypothetical scenario may surprise you. Just a word of warning, this video is for entertainment purposes only, and I highly recommend that you avoid any fights with this majestic endangered species. At the core of the debate is whether brute strength and an ingrained killing instinct outweigh a weapon and higher intellect. A tiger is much stronger than a human. This amazing creature is designed to hunt, and every aspect of its body is geared up towards efficient killing. To imagine this hypothetical fight, it's critical to understand how a tiger compares to a man. So let's break it down. First, let's consider size. According to world data, the average North American male human is 5 feet 9 inches tall. In marked contrast, National Geographic claims Siberian tigers can reach up to 11 feet in length. That means a Siberian tiger can be almost twice the length of a man. In addition, the average man weighs about 195 pounds. A tiger can weigh over 3 times that. Size-wise, the tiger wins. Pause down. Second, let's think about senses. While daytime vision between humans and tigers is comparable, at night, tigers see 6 times better than humans do. Regardless of the time of day, tiger hearing is vastly superior to humans. While humans can hear between the frequencies of 0.02 kHz and 20 kHz, tigers can hear anything between 0.2 kHz and 65 kHz. If that mouse squeaking in a distant bush is audible to the tiger, imagine how easily they would hear a human's footsteps. Thirdly, let's consider fighting capabilities. The average adult tiger can run at around 37 miles per hour, and the fastest recorded human, Usain Bolt, holds the record at 27.8 miles per hour. Though humans are exceptionally good over long distances, even if you're very fit, your chances are extremely slim in that initial sprint. As for teeth, a human canine is around 9.9 millimeters long, whereas a tiger canine is around 76.2 millimeters. That means a tiger's tooth is over 8 times the length of a man's. And claws? A tiger has claws up to 5 inches in length, and human claws are, well, negligible. Even a human's longest finger is shorter than a tiger's claw. In terms of a fight, it's like a child going up against a full-grown man, with 5-inch long knives on the man's boxing gloves. For most tigers' prey, their death is quick. After stalking and ambushing, the tiger leaps onto their prey and seizes its neck. A severed artery causes their prey to bleed out in seconds. If the tiger misses the artery, it will continue its hold until it strangles its victim to death. Even though this method of hunting is typical, tigers can also use their paws to inflict death. The size of a tiger's paw varies depending on the subspecies, but the Bengal tiger's paw print can reach a size of 8 inches by 8 inches. One swipe is enough to break a bear's skull or spine. And of course, those paws are fitted with knife-like claws, so sharp even Gordon Ramsay would be impressed. So is there any way in which a human is superior to a tiger? There's one thing. It's the same thing that allowed us to make fire and weapons, construct architecture, mold the world to our desires, and even go to space: the human mind. Humans are intelligent and capable of reasoning in a way that makes them superior to the entire animal kingdom. So with the right weapons and time to prepare, a human could conceivably kill or capture a tiger. Yet in a sudden confrontation, humans can only attempt to put into practice some of the advice they've read on national park warning signs, making themselves look larger and making noise. Still, in the pressure of the moment, all of this might go out the window. Avoiding the attack altogether is wise. One interesting way to avoid an attack is to stare directly at the tiger, or wear a mask on the back of your head to prevent one from ambushing you. Tigers prefer to sneak up on their prey and attack from behind. Wearing a mask tricks the tiger into thinking you're looking at it. Hesitant to attack a creature facing them due to their instinctive preference for sneaky ambush attacks, tigers may seek other prey. This mask comes in handy in the Sundarbans of Bangladesh, where tiger attacks are prevalent. Around 50 people and several tigers die every year in the conflict between man and beast. Tigers typically avoid humans as their prey. However, tigers have been known, on occasion, to acquire a taste for human flesh and begin preying almost exclusively on humans. It's estimated that one particular tigress in early 20th century India killed 430 people in one of the best documented cases of its kind. But sometimes, the avoidance of conflict with a tiger isn't an option. On your own, you'd be their next meal. So if you found yourself head-to-head with a fully grown Siberian tiger, you'd need some tool to even out your chances. Let's assume you were given a sword to help. It's not much, but could it be enough to save you? And what would be your best course of action with this weapon? The best way to work it out is to imagine a moment-by-moment encounter of this kind. Let's say, to give you as fair a start as possible, the fight takes place on flat, open ground. This way, the tiger can't just pounce down from the treetops and peel you like a banana. Armed with only a sword, your senses and focus will need to be exceptionally sharp. Realistically, it's not impossible that the tiger may be uninterested, or possibly even spooked if unfamiliar with humans, and may walk away. But let's suppose the tiger has taken an interest and sees you as a potential meal. Most likely, it'll prowl around you for a few moments, sizing you up. Do not turn your back on it. This will trigger a predatory response. Make yourself as big as possible and keep your eyes locked on it. What will most likely happen next is a swipe of its paw. This may simply be a warning, but if its claws are bared, you'll need to either duck, dive, or duel. If instant combat is your choice, swing your sword hard at the hinge of its arm. You may be able to sever it. This would be extremely useful, as its ability to balance, grapple, move, and attack would be severely hampered. If you manage to connect enough hits and injure it enough here, you may just win. But the chances of this happening are slim, because tigers are agile and aggressive. If things go wrong and its swipe connects at any point, assuming you aren't torn open like a bag of chips, you may find yourself with one less limb. If that limb is a leg, sit down. You've earned a rest, and there's a little point trying to hop away. If it's an arm, keep fighting. With your sword, you still might have a chance. If you manage to dodge the swipe entirely, now is a great time to make an attack. The tiger may be momentarily off balance, allowing you to take a stab or a swing with your sword. Aim for the softer parts of the head and neck, but avoid the jaws and skull top, as these are reinforced with thick muscle and bone. If you don't kill it here, it will likely pounce on you, swiping its claws and baring its teeth. If you're not frightened to death by this, and you can't dodge, get ready to give all you've got. When they're not pouncing and weaving with unbelievable agility, tigers use their enormous bulk to their advantage in a fight, and will throw themselves at you with full force. If you're unlucky enough to get pinned, you'll need to aim for their sensitive areas if you want any chance of survival. Unless you've managed to delimit at this point, it's basically game over for you. Tigers are ridiculously strong, as proven by this video of many people being beaten by a single tiger in a tug of war. You'll be pinned and ripped apart, but if you have managed to injure it enough, you may still have a chance. Stab at its eyes and ears with your sword if you still have it, and with your fingers if not. The reason you need to get free is that, assuming the tiger hasn't already clamped down on your neck with its teeth, it's about to. Once it does that, if you don't die right away, it's going to start kicking at you with its legs. Have you ever had pulled pork? That's you if this happens. If you're able to get a good shot on the tiger's eyes, ears, nose, or even throat, you might get lucky and wriggle free. If you're able to somehow stab it through the roof of its mouth and into its brain, you may even kill it. With any of these, the jolt of pain may send it packing into the woods. If it stays, however, it's time for your last stand. Stabbing the tiger will be unlikely to kill it straight away, but if it's still recovering from your eye poking, now's your chance. If you get the angle right, put all your weight into it, you may be able to behead the great beast. But then again, the circumference of an average tiger's neck is 32 inches, and their heads are 37 inches around. The likelihood is that a sword would struggle to behead the tiger without multiple blows. If not, hack away like a maniacal butcher. If that doesn't work, it was nice knowing you. As you can see, even with a sword, a man's survival in this scenario is doubtful. But has anyone actually beaten a tiger in a sword fight? Perhaps one of the most well-known face-offs between men and tigers occurred in the Roman Colosseum. The Romans found enjoyment in watching men fight to the death. To whet their bloodthirsty appetites, the games began with venation, or the wild beast hunt. Giraffes, elephants, elk, and bears made their appearances, but the most popular of all of the animals were the toothed beasts, among them tigers. The human facing off with these big cats might be anyone from an untrained slave or prisoner, who were essentially sent in to die, to a highly trained venator. Venators were specialized fighters of wild animals, and often equipped with armor, a shield, a sword, or a long spear. Each of these items would up his chance of survival. But by how much? A shield could potentially thwart a tiger's attempt to hit a man, but only if the tiger's agility were matched. A spear's length would certainly help a venator to attack the tiger without getting too close. Hitting a fatal blow would still be a matter of luck and aim. The length afforded by a spear gave it an advantage over a sword, as the closeness required to use the relatively short swords of the time could have serious repercussions. While there are no official accounts of venators taking down a tiger with a single sword like from the movie Gladiator, mosaics do suggest these specially trained fighters did triumph over tigers, but with spears and armor. As the earlier scenario showed, an average human may be able to defeat a tiger with a sword if they were able to react quickly enough to fatally stab a pouncing tiger in the right spot. Tragically, in 2004, this scenario was lived out in Burma. A father, his 2 sons, and 1 grandson were in the jungle collecting firewood. Thirsty, the older son and grandson went to fetch water from a stream. A tiger attacked and killed both. The father and remaining son ran towards the cries. Upon seeing his dead son and grandson, the father attacked the tiger with his sword. On the tiger's first pounce, the father managed to wound the tiger's face. On his second attack, the tiger succeeded in grabbing the man's throat and severing his carotid arteries. During this final attack, the man dealt a fatal blow to the tiger. Both human and tiger died. The younger son was the sole survivor. Although this story proves a human can kill a tiger with a sword, it's likely the human will often die as well during encounters like this. Remember that this man was under the influence of extraordinary grief and adrenaline. Adrenaline has enabled other people to lift cars in order to save lives. Whether in normal circumstances, the same amount of strength and willpower would be available, it's difficult to say for sure. Either way, while the man succeeded, it was at the cost of his own life. In the end, no matter how much more intelligent humans are, the tiger is an apex predator. Every aspect of its physical being is geared towards hunting and killing. But human tools allow us to strike from a distance, and this is our greatest advantage, even through rudimentary weapons like bows and spears. The more modern the weapon, and the longer the attack distance, the vastly superior your chances become. Put a human in a tank, and the tiger has no chance. On the other hand, facing off with only fists as weapons, there is no realistic hope that a human will prevail. Even with a sword, the chances are stacked heavily in the tiger's favor. There's no 10-step program that will guarantee a human survival. Perhaps the best advice is to admire these glorious creatures from a wide and respectful distance. Unlike the Romans, try to appreciate the existence and life of both the tiger and yourself, and live life with a sincere hope that you are never facing off with an attacking tiger. So do you think you have what it takes to defeat a tiger using nothing but a sword? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching.